Echoes of terror, the vastness of space, stretched before Captain Elena Reyes as she stood on the bridge of the UES Horizon, Earth's most advanced exploration vessel. Her dark eyes, sharp with intelligence, scanned the holographic displays surrounding her command chair. The ship hummed with energy, a testament to human ingenuity and the culmination of centuries of scientific advancement. "Captain," called out Lieutenant Aiden Chen from his station, his voice cutting through the low buzz of activity on the bridge. "We're picking up an anomalous signal. It's unlike anything we've encountered before." Elena's heart quickened, but her voice remained steady as she ordered, "Put it through, Lieutenant. Let's hear what we found." The bridge speakers crackled to life, filling the air with a haunting melody of mathematical precision. It was beautiful, alien, and unmistakably artificial. The crew fell silent, captivated by the otherworldly transmission. "Origin?" Elena asked, her mind racing with possibilities. "Triangulating now, Captain," replied Navigator Sarah Okonkwo, her fingers dancing across her console. "It's coming from a system just beyond the outer rim of charted space. No previous records of exploration in that sector." Elena nodded, a smile tugging at the corners of her mouth. This was why they had ventured so far from home, to make discoveries, to push the boundaries of human knowledge. "Plot a course, Navigator. Let's see what's out there." As the horizon altered its trajectory, Elena addressed her crew. "Ladies and gentlemen, this could be the moment we've all been waiting for. First contact. Remember your training, stay alert, and let's make humanity proud." The journey to the signal's origin took several days, even with the Horizon's advanced propulsion systems. Elena used the time to prepare her crew, running simulations and reviewing first contact protocols. The anticipation on board was palpable, a mixture of excitement and apprehension that Elena felt in her own gut. Finally, they arrived. The star system came into view, a binary pair of stars orbited by a collection of planets. The signal originated from the third planet, a world of swirling blue and green that looked eerily similar to Earth. "Life signs?" Elena asked, leaning forward in her chair. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, the ship's xenobiologist, reported from her station. "Affirmative, Captain. The planet is teeming with life, and there are clear signs of advanced civilization. We're detecting large structures on the surface and in orbit." Elena took a deep breath. This was it. "Hail them," she ordered. Communications Officer Lisa Rodriguez sent out the carefully crafted greeting message, a combination of mathematical equations and simple pictographs designed to convey peaceful intentions. They waited, the seconds stretching into minutes. Suddenly, the ship shuddered violently. Alarms blared as red warning lights bathed the bridge in an ominous glow. "Report," Elena shouted, gripping her armrests. "We're caught in some kind of energy field," Chen yelled back. "It's interfering with our systems. We're losing control." Elena's mind raced. This wasn't the welcome they had hoped for. "All hands, brace for impact. Divert all power to shields and life support." The horizon plummeted towards the alien world, fighting against the invisible force that pulled it down. Elena watched helplessly as the planet's surface rushed up to meet them, a blur of alien landscape growing clearer by the second. With a bone-jarring crash, the ship slammed into the ground, skidding across the terrain before coming to a rest in a field of strange, iridescent plants. As the dust settled, Elena pulled herself up, ignoring the pain that shot through her body. "Status report," she croaked, looking around at her battered crew. One by one, her officers responded. Miraculously, there were no fatalities, though the ship had sustained heavy damage. They were alive, but stranded on an alien world with no way to call for help. As Elena organized rescue and repair efforts, a flicker of movement outside the view screen caught her eye. She froze, her breath catching in her throat. There, emerging from the alien foliage, was a figure. Bipedal, but clearly not human. Its skin shimmered with a metallic sheen, and its large, multifaceted eyes regarded the ship with what Elena could only interpret as curiosity. Hello, Elena whispered, though she knew the being couldn't hear her through the ship's hull. She turned to her crew, her voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through her veins. Looks like we've got a welcoming committee. Let's not keep them waiting. As she moved towards the airlock, Elena's mind whirled with questions. Who were these beings? Why had they brought the horizon down? And most importantly, what would happen now that humanity had made its first, crash-landing step into a larger galactic community? With a hiss, the airlock opened, and Captain Elena Reyes stepped onto alien soil, ready to face whatever challenges this new world had in store. The fate of her crew, her ship, and perhaps all of humanity now rested on what would happen in the next few moments. As she took her first breath of alien air, Elena steeled herself for the unknown, determined to represent the best of what humanity had to offer. Stranded in an alien world, the alien air felt thick in Elena's lungs as she took her first steps on the foreign soil. The iridescent plants that had cushioned their crash landing swayed gently in a breeze she couldn't feel, their crystalline structures tinkling softly like wind chimes. Behind her, the battered hull of the horizon groaned, a painful reminder of their precarious situation. As Elena moved forward, her hand hovering near her sidearm, the alien figure that had caught her attention earlier emerged fully from the foliage. Up close, the being was even more striking. Its metallic skin rippled with colors that shifted like oil on water, and its multifaceted eyes reflected the world around them in a kaleidoscope of images. "I come in peace," Elena said, raising her empty hands in what she hoped was a universal gesture of non-aggression. "We mean you no harm." The alien tilted its head, emotion so human-like that Elena felt a surge of hope. Then, to her astonishment, it spoke. "Welcome, sky-fallen ones," the alien said, its voice a melodic hum that seemed to resonate in Elena's chest. "I am Zara, outcast of the Luminary. You are in great danger here." Elena blinked, shocked by both the alien's mastery of English and the ominous warning. "You speak our language. How?" Zara's skin rippled with what might have been amusement. "We have been observing your world for some time, learning your ways. But there is no time for explanations now. You must hide your vessel and yourselves. The Archons will come soon, and they are not as welcoming as I." As if on cue, a distant rumble filled the air. Elena turned to see sleek, silvery craft speeding towards them from the direction of a shimmering metropolis on the horizon. "Quick," Zara urged, "follow me." Elena hesitated for only a moment before making a decision. "Lieutenant Chen," she called into her comm, "initiate emergency camouflage protocol. Everyone else, grab what you can and prepare to evacuate. We're going with the alien." The next few hours were a blur of frantic activity. As Zara led them through dense alien jungles, the crashed horizon disappeared under a holographic shroud designed to blend with its surroundings. Elena and her crew, laden with survival gear and portable equipment, struggled to keep up with their alien guide. Finally, they reached a hidden cavern entrance, concealed behind a waterfall of luminescent liquid that Elena hesitated to call water. Inside, the cave opened up into a vast underground chamber filled with abandoned alien technology. This was once a Luminary research outpost, Zara explained as the humans caught their breath. It was abandoned cycles ago when the Archons seized power. They fear knowledge they cannot control. As her crew set up a makeshift camp, Elena turned to Zara. "I think it's time you told us what's really going on here. Why did you bring our ship down? Who are the Archons? And why are you helping us?" Zara's colors darkened, a shadow passing over its iridescent form. "We did not bring your ship down, Captain. The Archons did. They detected your approach and activated the planetary defense grid. I managed to alter its trajectory. Without my intervention, your ship would have been vaporized." Elena felt a chill run down her spine. "Thank you," she said softly. "But why help us?" "Because you represent hope," Zara said, its multifaceted eyes gleaming. The Archons have ruled our world with an iron fist for generations, suppressing technological advancement and free thought. But stories of other worlds, of civilizations among the stars, have always persisted. Your arrival proves those stories true. As Zara spoke, Elena began to understand the gravity of their situation. They weren't just stranded on an alien world. They had landed in the middle of a planetary conflict, their very existence a threat to the established order. The Archons will stop at nothing to find you, Zara continued. They fear the change you represent. But there are many among my people who yearn for freedom, for the chance to grow and explore as your species has. If we can repair your ship, if we can show my people the truth of other worlds, we might have a chance to overthrow the Archons and reclaim our destiny among the stars. Elena looked around at her crew, seeing the mix of fear and determination on their faces. They had trained for first contact, for scientific discoveries, but not for becoming the catalysts of an alien revolution. Yet, as she met each of their gazes, she saw the same resolve that burned within her. "All right," Elena said, straightening her shoulders. "We'll help you, Zara. But we do this carefully. We need to repair our ship, establish contact with Earth, and learn more about your world and the Archons. We won't rush into a conflict we don't fully understand." Zara's colors brightened, a dazzling display of joy and relief. "Thank you, Captain. With your help, we may yet see a free luminary." As they settled in, Elena couldn't help but marvel at the turn of events. They had come seeking new scientific discoveries, hoping for peaceful first contact. Instead, they found themselves embroiled in an alien struggle for freedom, the fate of an entire civilization potentially resting on their shoulders. Over the next few days, a plan began to take shape. Elena's crew worked tirelessly to integrate luminary technology with their own, repairing the Horizon's systems and enhancing them beyond their original capabilities. Zara taught them about luminary culture, history, and the oppressive regime of the Archons. But even as they made progress, the danger grew. Archon patrols ventured closer to their hidden base, and reports from Zara's underground network spoke of increased activity in the nearby city. Time was running out. As Elena stood at the entrance of their cavern hideout, watching the alien sun set in a blaze of colors she had no names for, she felt the weight of responsibility settling on her shoulders. They were no longer just explorers or scientists. They had become revolutionaries, the bearers of hope for an entire world. "We'll find a way," she whispered to herself, her hand unconsciously moving to the Earth insignia on her uniform. "We'll find a way to set things right." Behind her, human and luminary worked side by side, two species united by a common goal. As the alien night fell, casting the world in bioluminescent beauty, Elena allowed herself a small smile. Whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together. The echo of humanity's spirit had reached across the stars, and its resonance was about to change this world forever. The human element. The cavern hummed with activity as human and luminary technology meshed in ways neither species had imagined possible. Captain Elena Reyes watched with a mixture of pride and amazement as her crew worked alongside their alien allies, their combined efforts breathing new life into the battered systems of the Horizon. Lieutenant Chen's voice cut through the din, excitement evident in his tone. "Captain, you need to see this." Elena made her way to where Chen and Zara huddled over a console, its display a dazzling array of alien script and human code. "What am I looking at, Lieutenant?" "We've managed to integrate the luminary quantum entanglement communicator with our systems," Chen explained, his eyes shining. "If this works, we might be able to establish real-time communication with Earth, despite the vast distance." Elena's heart raced at the implications. "Can we test it?" Zara's skin rippled with cautious optimism. "We can, but we must be brief. The Archons have technology that might detect the transmission if it's active for too long." With a nod from Elena, Chen initiated the sequence. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, with a burst of static, a familiar voice filled the cavern. "This is Earth Control. We're receiving an unknown signal. Please identify. The Caven fell silent, all eyes on Elena, as she leaned towards the communicator. Earth Control, this is Captain Elena Reyes of the UES Horizon. Authentication code Sierra 97 Tango Echo. A pause, then, authentication confirmed. Captain Reyes, your ship was reported missing in action 3 weeks ago. What's your status? Elena took a deep breath. Earth Control, we've made first contact. The next hour was a flurry of information exchange. Elena provided a concise report of their situation, the Luminari, and the oppressive rule of the Archons. In return, she learned that news of the Horizon's disappearance had sent shockwaves through Earth's scientific and political communities. As the call ended, Elena felt a renewed sense of purpose. They weren't alone anymore. Earth knew of their discovery of the plight of the Luminari. Whatever happened next, it would shape the future of both their worlds. Zara approached as the communication link closed. Your people seem concerned, the alien observed. Elena nodded. This changes everything for us, Zara. Humanity has dreamed of this moment for centuries, proof that we're not alone in the universe. But the reality of your situation, the threat of the Archons, it complicates things. Perhaps, Zara mused, its colors shifting thoughtfully, but it also presents an opportunity. Your arrival has already inspired many among my people. If we can show them that change is possible, that there are worlds beyond the Archon's control. Their conversation was interrupted by Dr. Tanaka's urgent call. Captain Zara, you need to see this immediately. They rushed to the xenobiology lab, a makeshift setup where Dr. Tanaka had been studying luminary biology. The doctor's face was pale as she pointed to the findings on the screen. I've been analyzing the biological samples Zara provided, she explained. There's something not right. The luminary's current biology shows signs of extensive genetic manipulation. It's as if they've been engineered. Zara's form rippled with shock. What do you mean, engineered? Dr. Tanaka's voice was gentle but firm. Your people's ability to change colors, to adapt to different environments so quickly, it's not natural evolution. Someone designed you this way. The implications hung heavy in the air. Elena's mind raced. The Archons. Zara's colors darkened. No, this goes back further. The Archons rose to power within my lifetime. This must have happened long ago. As they digested this revelation, an alarm blared through the cavern. Lieutenant Chen's voice crackled over the comm. Captain, we've got incoming. Multiple Archon vessels approaching our location. Elena snapped into action. Battle stations. Zara, we need an escape route. Dr. Tanaka, secure that data. We can't let it fall into Archon hands. As they raced through the cavern, Elena's mind whirled. The mystery of the Luminari's origins would have to wait. Right now, survival was their priority. They emerged from the cavern into chaos. Archon ships filled the sky, their sleek forms bearing down on the hidden base. But Elena allowed herself a small smile as she saw the horizon, no longer a battered wreck, but a gleaming testament to human luminary cooperation, rising to meet them. Everyone aboard, Elena ordered, her voice carrying over the din of battle. As her crew and their luminary allies rushed into the ship, she turned to Zara. I hope your people are ready for a revolution, because subtlety is no longer an option. Zara's form blazed with determination. We are ready, Captain. The Archon's reign ends today. As they lifted off, Archon weapons fire peppering their shields, Elena felt a surge of pride. Her crew had done the impossible, repairing and enhancing their ship with alien technology in a matter of weeks. Now, it was time to put their hard work to the test. Weapons online, reported Lieutenant Rodriguez from Tactical. Luminary shield enhancements holding steady. Elena took her place in the command chair, her voice steady as she gave the order. Take us into the fight. It's time to show the Archons what happens when you mess with humanity and our friends. The horizon surged forward, its human design now augmented with luminary technology. As they engaged the Arkan fleet, the ship moved with a grace and power Elena had never felt before. Human tactical thinking combined with luminary technical prowess, creating a formidable force that took the Arkans by surprise. But even as they fought, Elena knew this was just the beginning. The real battle would be for the hearts and minds of the luminary people. As the horizon danced through the alien sky, leaving stunned Arkan ships in its wake, Elena allowed herself a moment of hope. They had come to this world as explorers and found themselves freedom fighters. The humanity they represented, resourceful, adaptable, and fiercely protective of liberty, had become a beacon of hope for an entire civilization. Whatever challenges lay ahead, Elena knew that the spirit of Earth, carried across the stars by her and her crew, would rise to meet them. As they pushed towards the Arkan stronghold, the fate of two worlds hanging in the balance, Elena Reyes steeled herself for the battles to come. The echo of humanity's courage and determination was about to become a resounding call for freedom across an alien world. Rebellion rising. The horizon descended upon the outskirts of the luminary capital, its hull still glowing from the heat of battle. Captain Elena Reyes stood at the viewport, surveying the sprawling alien metropolis. Towering spires of crystalline material reached towards the sky, their surfaces reflecting the chaotic light show of ongoing skirmishes between Arkan forces and newly emboldened luminary rebels. Status report, Elena called out, her eyes never leaving the cityscape. Lieutenant Chen's voice was tense but controlled. "We've managed to establish a secure comm link with the rebel forces, Captain. They're rallying to our position. Arkan defenses are in disarray after our surprise attack, but they're regrouping quickly." Elena nodded, her mind racing through potential strategies. "And our special project?" Dr. Tanaka stepped forward, holding a data pad. "It's ready, Captain. We've synthesized the truth serum based on luminary physiology. If we can administer it to the Arkan leadership, we might be able to uncover the truth about the luminaries' engineered origins and broadcast it to the entire population." "Excellent work, Doctor," Elena said, finally turning to face her crew. Her gaze fell on Zara, the luminary's iridescent skin pulsing with a mix of emotions: fear, excitement, determination. "Zara, it's your world. What's our next move?" Zara's multifaceted eyes reflected the city lights as it spoke. "The Arkan Central Command is located in the heart of the city, in a structure known as the Spire of Eternity. It's heavily guarded, but I know a way in. A network of ancient tunnels, remnants of the old civilization, runs beneath the city. The Arkans believe them to be sealed, but some of us have kept them secret, maintained them as escape routes." Elena's lips curved into a smile. "Then that's our way in. We'll split into two teams. Team Alpha, led by me, will infiltrate the spire through these tunnels. Our goal: capture the Arkan leadership and administer the truth serum. Team Beta, led by Lieutenant Chen, will coordinate with the rebel forces to create a diversion and keep the Arkan military occupied." As the teams prepared, Elena felt the weight of the moment. They were about to change the course of an entire civilization and potentially uncover secrets that could reshape their understanding of the luminary people. Hours later, Elena found herself crawling through narrow, bioluminescent tunnels deep beneath the luminary capital. Zara led the way, its skin mimicking the glow of the tunnel walls. Behind her, a select team of her crew and luminary rebels followed, each carrying equipment for their mission. As they neared their exit point, Zara suddenly froze. "Wait," it whispered, its voice barely audible. "Something's wrong. These markings, they're new." Before Elena could respond, the tunnel wall beside them slid open, revealing a squad of Arkan guards. Their crystalline armor gleamed in the dim light, weapons trained on the infiltration team. "Intruders," the lead guard shouted. "In the name of the eternal Arkan, surrender or be." The guard's words were cut short as Elena's team sprang into action. Months of training and weeks of fighting alongside the luminary had honed their reflexes. Stun blasts from human weapons mixed with the ethereal glow of luminary tech, quickly overwhelming the Archon squad. As the last guard fell, Elena turned to Zara. They knew about the tunnels. We've lost the element of surprise. Zara's colors darkened with worry. We must hurry. If they discovered these passages, they may be preparing to collapse them. The team doubled their pace, racing through the winding tunnels. They could hear the sounds of battle above them, Chen's diversion in full swing. Finally, they reached their exit point, a maintenance hatch that, according to Zara's intelligence, should lead them directly into the lower levels of the Spire of Eternity. As they emerged into the spire, alarms blared. The corridors were a maze of advanced technology, pulsing with energy that made the hair on Elena's arms stand on end. They fought their way upward, level by level, the resistance growing fiercer with each floor. Finally, they reached the upper chambers where the Archon leadership was supposed to be hiding. Elena signaled her team to take up positions around a massive door, its surface inscribed with intricate patterns that seemed to shift and change as they watched. "This is it," Zara said, its voice filled with a mixture of awe and trepidation. "Beyond this door lie the answers to my people's past, and perhaps our future." Elena nodded, readying the injector containing the truth serum. "Remember the plan. We subdue them, administer the serum, and broadcast their confession. Let's make it count." With a deep breath, Elena gave the signal. Her team breached the door, rushing into the chamber beyond. But what they found inside stopped them in their tracks. The room was vast, its walls lined with stasis pods, and in each pod, barely visible through a fog of cryogenic suspension, were beings that looked almost, but not quite, human. At the center of the room stood a figure that could only be the Archon leader, but as it turned to face them, Elena's blood ran cold. The being before them was unmistakably human, or at least what a human might become after centuries of genetic manipulation and technological enhancement. "Welcome, cousins," the Archon leader said, its voice echoing with the weight of millennia. "We've been expecting you." Elena's mind reeled. Cousins. The implications were staggering. Could it be that the Luminary, the Archons, was somehow descended from humans? Or was humanity itself the result of ancient Archon experiments? As Elena grappled with these questions, she knew one thing for certain: the truth they were about to uncover would change not just the fate of the Luminary, but potentially the entire understanding of humanity's place in the cosmos. With her weapon trained on the Archon leader, Elena's voice was steady as she spoke. "I think it's time we had a long overdue family discussion." The Archon's lips curved into a smile that was both familiar and alien. "Indeed, Captain Reyes. Let us talk of stars, of genes, and of destinies intertwined across the vast expanses of space and time." As the standoff intensified, the fate of two civilizations hung in the balance. The rebellion had brought them to this point, but it would be the revelations within this chamber that would truly shape the future of both humanity and the Luminary. Battle for two worlds. The chamber fell into an uneasy silence as Captain Elena Reyes and the Archon leader faced each other, the weight of countless secrets hanging between them. Outside, the sounds of battle raged on, a stark reminder of the conflict that had brought them to this moment. "Who are you?" Elena demanded, her weapon still trained on the Archon. "What is the meaning of all this?" The Archon leader's enhanced features twisted into something resembling amusement. "I am Architect Prime, last of the original Terran expedition. We came here millennia ago, when your ancestors were still learning to make fire." Zara stepped forward, its colors shifting rapidly in distress. You're from Earth, but our histories, our beliefs, were carefully cultivated," Architect Prime finished. "Your people, the Luminary, are the culmination of centuries of genetic engineering. We sought to create a species perfectly adapted to this world, capable of surviving its harsh conditions and utilizing its unique resources." Elena's mind raced, connecting the dots. "And the Archons? Are you all like this?" She gestured at the leader's quasi-human form. Architect Prime nodded. We are the guardians, the shepherds. We've guided the luminaries' development, protected them from the harsh realities of the galaxy. Protected, Elena scoffed. You've oppressed them, stifled their growth. To keep them safe, Architect Prime's voice boomed, echoing off the chamber walls. The galaxy is a dangerous place, Captain. There are horrors out there that would consume the luminari without a second thought. We've sacrificed everything to ensure their survival. As they argued, Dr. Tanaka had been scanning the stasis pods. Her voice cut through the tension, filled with awe and horror. Captain, these pods, they contain genetic samples from thousands of Earth species, plants, animals, even early hominids. It's like a backup of Earth's entire ecosystem. The implications hit Elena like a physical blow. You're not just protecting the luminary, you're preserving Earth's legacy. But why? What threat could be so great? Architect Prime's expression darkened. The Devourers, a species so ancient and terrible that they exist now only to consume. They destroyed our Earth, forcing us to flee with whatever we could salvage. We came here to create a new home, a new species that might one day be strong enough to face them. The chamber shook, dust falling from the ceiling. Lieutenant Chen's voice crackled over the comm. Captain, the Archon defenses are collapsing. The rebels are pushing into the city center. We need a decision now. Elena's mind whirled. The fate of 2 civilizations rested on her next move. The truth serum in her hands suddenly felt inadequate in the face of such monumental revelations. Zara spoke, its voice trembling. All this time, we thought you were our oppressors, but you were trying to protect us. Through misguided means, Elena interjected. No matter their intentions, the Archons have stifled your growth, your potential. A species can't evolve if it's constantly sheltered. Architect Prime's eyes flashed. And would you doom them to face the Devourers unprepared? We've spent millennia preparing for their eventual arrival. A plan began to form in Elena's mind. Then let's prepare together. Openly. The Luminari deserve to know the truth, to have a say in their own destiny. Before Architect Prime could respond, alarms blared throughout the chamber. A holographic display sprang to life, showing a massive object entering the star system. No, Architect Prime whispered, fear evident in its voice. It's too soon. They weren't supposed to find us for another century at least. The object resolved into a nightmarish shape, a massive bioship, like a twisted amalgamation of flesh and metal. The Devourers had arrived. Elena's training kicked in, pushing aside shock and fear. We need to evacuate. Get word to the rebels, to everyone. We have to unite against this threat. Architect Prime nodded, centuries of authority seeming to crumble in the face of imminent doom. The shelters, deep beneath the surface, they were built for this day. As they raced to organize the evacuation, Elena's mind worked overtime. The horizon, enhanced with luminary tech, might stand a chance against the Devourership, but they needed more. The stasis pods, she called out. Can we use them? Awaken the preserved species. Dr. Tanaka's eyes widened. The biodiversity, if we could release it strategically, it might overwhelm the Devourer's ability to adapt and consume. Architect Prime stared at Elena, a glimmer of hope in its ancient eyes. It's risky, untested, but it might work. We'll need to modify the atmospheric dispersal systems. As they worked feverishly, the first waves of Devourer forces began to land. The horizon, piloted by Lieutenant Chen, engaged in a desperate battle above the planet. On the ground, former enemies, Luminari rebels and Archon loyalists, found themselves fighting side by side against a common foe. Elena coordinated the efforts from the Spire's command center, Zara and Architect Prime at her side. It was a battle unlike any in human or luminary history, a desperate stand against an implacable, world-eating foe. Hours blended into days as the battle raged. The horizon danced through space, its human luminary hybrid technology keeping it one step ahead of the massive Devourership. On the surface, the awakened Earth species wreaked havoc on the invading forces, their unfamiliar biology confounding the Devourer's adaptive abilities. But it wasn't enough. The Devourers pressed on, their numbers seemingly endless. As Elena watched the holographic display of the battle, she knew they needed something more. A final, decisive stroke. Her eyes fell on the spire itself, thrumming with ancient power. The spire, she mused aloud. What is it, really? What's its true purpose? Architect Prime hesitated before answering. It's a way to access the planetary defense system we built eons ago, but activating it would require a sacrifice. Elena met the ancient being's gaze, understanding dawning. Your life force, the original Terrans, that's why you've extended your lives for so long. Architect Prime nodded solemnly. We are the last line of defense. Our life energy, the pure essence of Earth, can power the system, but it will mean the end of us. The weight of millennia hung in the air as Elena considered the implications. The last direct link to Earth's past, willing to sacrifice themselves for a future they would never see. As another tremor shook the spire, Elena made her decision. Do it, but not alone. She turned to her crew, to Zara, seeing the same determination in their eyes. We'll combine our life forces, human, luminary, and archon. Together, we'll show these Devourers what it truly means to adapt and overcome. As they prepared for the final gambit, Elena sent one last message to the horizon, to Earth, to all who might hear it. To all fighting for survival, for the right to exist and grow. Stand firm. Hope is not lost. The spirit of Earth lives on, both in flesh and in legacy. And today, that spirit roars defiance to the very stars themselves. With those words, Elena Reyes, her crew Zara, and the last of the Archons joined hands. As one, they stepped into the heart of the spire, ready to unleash a power born of 2 worlds and countless generations. The fate of planets, of entire species, hung in the balance. The final battle for Earth's legacy had begun. Triumph of unity. The spire of eternity pulsed with energy, its crystalline structure resonating with the combined life forces of human, luminary, and archon. Captain Elena Reyes felt her consciousness expanding, merging with those around her. In that moment of unity, she understood the true power of cooperation, of different species coming together in the face of extinction. As their energies flowed into the ancient machinery, the planet itself seemed to come alive. The ground trembled, and the sky lit up with auroras of impossible colors. In orbit, Lieutenant Chen watched in awe from the bridge of the horizon as the planet's surface began to glow. Suddenly, a beam of pure energy erupted from the spire, lancing out into space. It struck the Devourer mothership, enveloping it in a cocoon of light. The massive bioship writhed, its flesh-metal hybrid construction unable to adapt to the onslaught of pure life energy. On the surface, the invading Devourer forces faltered. The awakened Earth species, guided by the planet's newfound consciousness, pressed their advantage. Luminary rebels and former Archon loyalists fought side by side, their previous conflicts forgotten in the face of a greater threat. As the battle raged, Elena found her mind connected to the planet's defense system. She saw through 1,000,000 eyes, felt the pulse of every living thing on the surface. And with that awareness came understanding. The key to defeating the Devourers wasn't just raw power, but the infinite adaptability of life itself. With a thought, Elena directed the planet's energy. The beam striking the Devourer ship changed, carrying within it the genetic codes of countless species. The Devourer ship, designed to consume and adapt, found itself overwhelmed by the sheer diversity of life it was suddenly forced to process. In a spectacular display of light and energy, the Devourer mothership began to break apart. Its smaller craft, cut off from their central intelligence, fell into disarray. On the planet's surface, the invading forces crumbled, overwhelmed by the united defenders and the planet's own awakened ecosystem. As the last of the Devourers fell, a cheer went up across the planet. The combined voices of humans, Luminari, and the awakened Earth species echoed across continents. They had done it. They had faced extinction and emerged victorious. Slowly, carefully, Elena and the others disengaged from the spire's systems. As they stepped away, physically exhausted but spirits soaring, they looked at each other with new eyes. The barriers between their species seemed insignificant now, washed away by their shared experience. Zara, its colors shimmering with emotion, spoke first. We did it. We're free, truly free, for the first time in our history. Architect Prime, the last of the original Archons, nodded solemnly. Free, and with a great responsibility. The knowledge of our true heritage, of Earth's legacy, must be shared with all Luminari. Elena looked out over the city, where the signs of battle were already being overtaken by new growth, plants and animals from Earth's ancient past mingling with the alien ecosystem. Not just shared, she said, but built upon. This victory belongs to all of us, and so does the future we'll build from it. In the days that followed, the process of rebuilding began. The Luminari, armed with the truth of their origins and freed from the well-intentioned but stifling control of the Archons, embraced their newfound freedom with enthusiasm. The awakened Earth species, guided by the planet's sentience, found niches in the alien ecosystem, creating a vibrant new biosphere. A council was formed, with representatives from the Luminari, the remaining Archons, the human crew, and even delegates speaking for the planet's newfound consciousness. Together, they began the monumental task of shaping a society that honored both their shared heritage and their unique differences. Elena, standing on a balcony overlooking the transformed capital city, felt a presence beside her. It was Zara, its colors reflecting the sunset in mesmerizing patterns. "What will you do now, Elena?" Zara asked. "You fulfilled your mission of first contact beyond anyone's wildest dreams." Elena smiled, her gaze fixed on the horizon where the horizon floated, a symbol of the bridge between worlds. "There's still so much to do, Zara. We need to establish proper communication with Earth to share what we've learned." And she paused, a glint of excitement in her eyes. "There's a whole galaxy out there. The Devourers might be defeated here, but they're still a threat to other worlds. Someone needs to carry the message, to teach others what we've learned about unity and adaptation." Zara's form shimmered with what Elena had come to recognize as joy. We could go together. A joint mission to seek out new life and new civilizations, to offer our knowledge and learn from others. Elena nodded, feeling a thrill of anticipation. The best of humanity and Luminari, venturing into the unknown. I like the sound of that. As they stood there, watching the new world they had helped create, Elena reflected on the journey that had brought them to this point. They had come seeking knowledge and found a battle for survival. In facing that challenge, they had discovered something greater, the power of unity, of diverse peoples coming together to create something stronger than the sum of its parts. The horizon would fly again, carrying with it the legacy of Earth and the spirit of the Luminari. As ambassadors, as explorers, as living proof that different species could not only coexist, but thrive together. And as they ventured into the cosmic unknown, they would carry with them the most powerful message of all, that in the face of darkness, life finds a way. That together, united in purpose and diverse in strength, there was no challenge too great to overcome. As the first stars began to appear in the alien sky, Helena felt a sense of peace and purpose wash over her. The echo of humanity's spirit had not only survived across the vast distances of space, but it had grown, evolved, and merged with something greater. Whatever the future held, they would face it together, a united front against the darkness, a beacon of hope for all life in the cosmos. The end of their first adventure was just the beginning of an even greater journey, and as Elena looked to the stars, she knew that the best was yet to come.